Hello, guys. Welcome back to Christianity Reloaded. Today, we are looking at what it means to belong to a church that are not ancient, or to belong to churches that are not ancient. And when we talk about the ancient churches, we mean the Orthodox and the Catholics, both the Oriental Orthodox and Eastern Orthodox, Coptic Church. They are all ancient churches. When I said ancient churches, means that they are likely to be founded by the one of the apostles, or they claim. Let's put it that way. But we are looking at when we say that a church is not ancient, we look at the Protestant churches, whether it's they call themselves Pentecostal or evangelical, whatever the names they use for themselves, they are not ancient, which means they are founded by probably men that are not doesn't have any link to the apostles, except that these men came across a Bible and they went ahead to plant churches in many ways, interpreting Bible in their own way and teaching their own gospel. But when I talk about this issue, this issue of Christians, people get emotional also because Christians belong to different churches, and those that their church found recently, some of them are always aggressive on the Asian churches. They're always picking holes in the practices of Asian churches and telling them, look, this is not biblical. This is not biblical. This is not this stuff you're doing is not the Bible. Whether it's the Orthodox Church kissing the icons, or the Catholic Church praying rosaries and praying to Mary, they said those stuff are not in the Bible. But they forget that the Bible is written for the church, and the church was written. Those churches, the church that produced this Bible, none of them are these Protestants. And let me describe Protestants for you. How these people have they don't have fullness of faith. They just have let me give you an illustration of how their faith, what they have. Let me use a church as a book, like a book with 100 chapters. This book is a church or Christianity, but Protestants only have 30 chapters out of this 100, which means 70 chapters are missing. That's Protestant for you. They have only 30 out of 100 chapters, which is Christianity. The fullness of Christianity, let's say, is a book with 100 chapters. The Protestant churches have only 30 out of this 100 chapters, and when you in a normal scenario, if you give anyone a book and tell the person that this book is missing 70 chapters, this book is 100 chapters, made up of 100 chapters, and each chapters are important. So if Christianity is like a book that has 100 chapters, the fullness of Christianity, like a book with 100 chapters, the Protestant churches have only 30% of this book. You can quote me anywhere. And if someone in a normal setting gives you a book and they tell you that this book have 100 chapters, but the one is giving you is 30, the 70 is cut out from this book. That you only have 30%. I don't think you will still be in that. You will like to read that book, except some might read. The same thing with the Protestant church, because when you go to the history of Christianity, if you're gonna be honest with yourself and look into it, because sometimes I don't know why some Christians will not look into the history of their religion. Look at where it started and how even their own foundation was laid. But most of the Christians, they don't do that. Especially those Protestant churches. I don't know if they are ashamed to look at their history or their foundation. But you have to, at a point, you have to look at it. It's not like I'm saying they are not Christians, so don't get me wrong and say that I don't consider them as Christians. Once you are baptized in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost, and you believe in Trinity, I think it's enough to consider yourself as Christian. But if you belong in any of the Protestant churches, you don't have the fullness of faith. The fullness of Christianity, you don't have it. For you to have the fullness of Christianity, you have to go to the starting point. You have to belong to one of these ancient churches. I'm not saying that those churches are perfect. They're not meant to be perfect because it's a human institution, but established by divine will. When I mean divine will, means that even though it is made up of human beings, the human beings, what they do will not affect all the stuff that God have already put in place there, like to bless people and to sanctify people. That's what the church does, to sanctify her people. So even though we have bad bishops and priests, it doesn't affect the church in any way except negatively in the eyes of people. But God is still working through them. Jesus is still working through his churches. So, but sometimes we have to talk about this. I know people doesn't like this. Oh, this brings division. You know what I mean? You are dividing the people of God. No, you're not dividing anything. It's already people that want to fracture the church have already fractured it. So, but it's good to talk about the truth. Talk about where the church begins. We can't just because if you don't know where you start, how do you know where you're going? Because at the starting point, that's when you're gonna know where you're going. If you join the line in the middle, you might not know where they're going, because you might ask someone that didn't start from the beginning. He doesn't know where the person is going. He want to tell you that you're going where you're not going. You understand the point I'm trying to make? So, the belonging to the ancient churches and planting churches, by human initiative, because most of these men that think that they can go anywhere in the world and open churches, or in America, anywhere in Europe, Asia, and just open churches like a family business. The only problem with that is that they don't. Jesus have never told anyone to go and open up a church. You can't find it in the Bible. If you find it, let me know that there's a verse in the Bible that says, go out and establish a church. You cannot. But these people, they always appeal to their, say that, oh, they get, it's kind of the spirit moving them to do that. But it's difficult to analyze this as subjective spirit that is telling you to do that, because it's just what is coming from you. And when you look at the beginning, the Christianity, you have to be sent by someone. I'm not talking about coming out and telling others God sent you. I'm talking about someone apart from you sending you. That's what Jesus did. He sent the apostles, and the apostles in turn send other people. Not because other people listen to them and feel like they can go and establish a church. No, these people are sent, even by letter, not instruction. They're instructed to do that. But most of the people that go and open a church and call it name, no one instructed them to do that except themselves. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us to reach more people. Like our video, and God bless you. Peace.